Yes, today we're talking about the Switch 2 and all the rumors and what the possibility of the thing could be. But first, I want to hear what you think it is. When will we see it? How much is it going to cost? And what is the big gimmick of it? Now, I think Nintendo could go a couple different routes with this next generation of theirs, but I'm thinking they're going to go the Wii U 2.0. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a little while. First, I don't think we're getting a new Switch this year specifically, 2023. I'm on record on our podcast saying that as well. But I feel like the momentum, it might be slowing down a little bit right now for the Switch, but I think with Zelda right around the corner, that's going to sell the special editions right there. And we don't really know what the winner has in store for them. But if I was Nintendo, knowing that I'm the third best selling console of all time, I'd want to hold off on adding a new SKU or going to the next generation just so I can climb a little bit more. And we saw Pokemon Scarlet and Violet just destroy in numbers. So I think Zelda is also going to do that, and I don't think we're going to have to worry about the numbers whatsoever on the software side of things. Will the Switch itself slow down? Yeah, because I think there's so much already out there. We'll get some sales from the new special edition, like I was saying, but if we have a lot of games coming out in the winter for the Switch, I don't think we're going to see it slow down. Now, the problem is 2023 is packed with a lot of games. So there is a lot of competition out there. But Nintendo's still doing something different than the other console manufacturers, minus the Steam Deck. You know, I feel like a lot of people are going to be pushing this. We heard rumors of the Q Lite from the PS5, the new handheld, it being tethered to that console. Not sure if that's the route I would go, but I'm also not making these decisions. And you're going to see my Wii U 2.0 in just a little bit. Maybe like, it kind of sounds similar. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. We don't know what we have this winter. I think it's Metroid Prime 4 and maybe Mario. But when will we get the next Nintendo console? I think we're getting it spring 2024. I could see them pushing it to fall of 24. It kind of depends on what they have going and cooking game-wise, software-wise. And the reason I don't think they need to rush is because we're finally starting to get a handful of games that are finally being developed only for this generation. So the PS5 and the Series X. You know, games like Final Fantasy 16, we had Ratchet and Clank back in the day, Jedi Survivor. We're starting to get there, but knowing that we're not full-blown into this generation after 2-3 years now, I don't see a huge rush for Nintendo. Yes, the Nintendo Switch is definitely showing its age in this department, but again, Switch owners aren't always looking for the frame rate and everything. I mean, just look at the sales of games like Witcher 3 and Skyrim. Skyrim on the Switch sold over 1 million copies. That's wild to me. For one, it's an older game, and it's the inferior version. But people really like to play portably. And if you look at Witcher 3 as well, shipped over 1 million in 2020. I think I saw somewhere it was about 700K in sales around that time period. So I'm sure both of those have gone up since then. And we have seen if you have a lesser version of the game, it still can sell from that proof. But also look at Pokemon. Scarlet and Violet. Whew, those things run terribly. And from the brief glimpses I've seen at my brother's house, watching my niece play that game, whew, looked a little rough. I do believe this new Nintendo console will also keep some of the things from past handheld generations. And I think, like the GBA to the DS, you could play GBA games on the DS and DS games on the 3DS. I think we are going to get backwards compatible, and I think they're going to stick with cartridges because parents love going out to the store, seeing the system, and then seeing all these colorful cases with Pokemon on it, Mario, Zelda. They're not going to go away from that. So we are still going to get physical copies in the store, just like the PS5 and Series X. But I think we're going to stick to cartridge to make it easier. And I think there will be a difference in the cards, just like there was from the DS to the 3DS line, and now with the Switch cartridge as well. But I don't think they're going to abandon that audience from the Switch because, one, Switch sales are crazy, and I think if you have a backwards compatible, you are going to sell that other Switch generation, the previous one, so much more. It's going to be insane, especially if they get a little boost, kind of like the PS4 games, a little bit faster on the PS5. That's a nice boon to get that. Now, I don't even think we're at the point where you need to upgrade from a PS4 to PS5 sometimes. I look at the PS5 library, and it's kind of my back into why the Switch doesn't need to be out now, because there doesn't seem to be a huge reason to upgrade. I love my PS5, but I don't think I'd be sorely disappointed if I didn't have one. Kind of strange to say that, but it's just kind of how it feels. But the main reason why I don't think the hybrid model is going away is because Nintendo combined their handheld and their console manufacturers and developers to one unit. Why would they undo all that and start over again? It just doesn't make logical sense to me. I mean, it really does seem absurd to split the resources again. It just doesn't make sense. And that's why it's my case that we're going to go with the Wii U 2.0. I think I knew what they were trying to do with the Wii U. They wanted it to be the Super Nintendo of the Wii. It's an upgraded package. It's more powerful. You're kind of getting the same stuff, but it's different. Obviously, the marketing did not work. The name was not a good choice. But could it work today? And I think it could. I think we are going to get a tablet and a box. So we're going to get two separate devices linked to the same thing. But not like this rumor of the PS5 and the handheld, the Q Lite. They're not going to be that tethered to each other. They're still going to be separate, kind of like the dock is from your tablet, but they will work and communicate together. So knowing if we can get the kinks out of the Wii U model, and we can get our Super Switch, which I'm going to call it for now because I have no idea what they're going to name it. That sounds like a really easy name to me. Now, what would the advantage of having a box and the tablet separate? This could help with that audience that does care about frame rate, resolution, 4K, all that jazz. You have the box that could replicate a closer version of the third-party games that are on the PS5 and Series X now. If we can get a version of the Switch, the Super Switch that docks and communicates with this box and then upscales and helps with the frame rate because it has its own power source, has another chip inside that box, I think we could get there. But I think the most intriguing thing about this argument is, do you remember Download Play from 3DS? Think about a future where this box, the Super Switch box itself, sends a signal to the tablet letting you verify and know that you own the games. So if you're still doing physical media, you have the cartridge in the system at home, but it can send a signal to your tablet so you can continue your file from there, or you can just play your games without having the physical cart in the tablet itself. I think that could be pretty cool. Now, I think it would be even better if they linked it to your Nintendo account so you don't have to always be online to verify it. You just have the accounts linked from the tablet and the box, and you don't have to verify it anymore. You own the game so you can play it whenever you want, kind of like you bought a digital game, even though you didn't. Now, how would the tablet be any different from the Switch we have right now? I think you can go two different routes with this one. There's the safe route, and then there's the strange route that I kind of want them to go. I think they should play it safe, just make it a bigger screen, a little bit smaller bezels, and rework the Joy-Cons, whether that means they are attached permanently to avoid drift and all that jazz, or just rework to be a little bit bigger and still be able to dock on the box at home. Now, the problem with keeping it that safe and that close to what we already have, you might run into the marketing problem of the Wii U and saying, this isn't much different. What's the difference between this and the OLED that I just bought a year or two ago, or that I just bought for Zelda? What's going to make me upgrade? So you have to have a gimmick. And what's the gimmick going to be this time? I'm thinking we get a foldable clamshell design. And maybe the Switch Joy-Cons flip up like this, so it's kind of like a rectangular box. So one, you could emulate what you kind of did on the 3DS, but doing it in a much more powerful machine, and it would feel different enough. And I feel like with the way that you work the screen, it wouldn't be too heavy, as long as that screen's not too big on that when you open it up. But doing the Joy-Cons, like, I don't know, could be pretty interesting. But this also opens up developers to utilize the tablet in the Wii U of prior. Maybe you have your map, you have your inventory system on there, or you just have nothing at all and you're going to be playing with the Pro Controller. But I think that would be enough difference. A foldable tablet, a box at home that upgrades your games, makes them run better, quicker, all that jazz. But it also plays it safe enough where you're not going to change enough and lose the market that you've already built up. How plausible is all this? 40%, maybe. I don't know. And I'm saying 40% as in they're just sticking with the hybrid model. I don't know about the foldable screen or the box at home. Maybe it's just a dock again. I don't know. That's all I need. I just need another Switch that's bigger and better battery life. I'm simple in that regard. But I also see Nintendo doing that thing that Nintendo likes to do and just do a wide left turn to something we didn't even see coming. I hope they don't abandon this hybrid model. I think that would be very, very silly at this point. But you never can predict Nintendo sometimes. Obviously, the Wii U did not work out for Nintendo, but I think they can learn from their mistakes, add that knowledge to this new generation, and keep the hybrid model, boost the power from the dock. And you know, this tablet itself is going to be more powerful because the chips have gotten better since the release of the Switch. So more power on both ends, that's a win-win. And I would price this at $400. Again, take a loss in the box, take a loss on the new Joy-Con models, because you're going to be selling the software. That's the most important part. Pair it with the Mario game if it has not come out yet. And you can sell us that Pro controller, that new Super Pro controller for like $80, $90 probably. Who knows? But what would I actually launch this game with? I said Mario, but Ocarina of Time Remaster. Knowing that Zelda sold the Switch, I think you need to go that route again. And why not go back to the GOAT? I know it's not different open world, but I think this one would work. And no, I haven't seen a single rumor about this being a thing, but maybe this will happen. Let me know how plausible any of this is, and if you think the same thing. What would your Super Switch look like? Is it a Wii U 2.0 like I'm thinking? Until next time, keep dreaming about a future announcement date and keep doing what you love.
Any input? When's the new Switch coming? Bark once if you think it's this year. Bark twice if you think it's next year. Oh, you got your tail wagging. 2 thumbs next year. Thanks, girl.